It's brewed to the Dutch brewing standards, 1613.
Oh, wow.
Did they even have fake beers?
In 1613?
In 1613, yeah, most people drank fake beers.
They had a few, man. And they've always had those ciders, which have alcohol, but, you know.
I hate going to breweries because there's so many fucking breweries in town. And they have, they never have non-alcoholic beer. And I'm like, why don't you make it like it's like, and they always sell, if they do sell one, it's really expensive. It's more expensive than their regular beers.
I'm going to be honest, man. I don't see any reason to drink non-alcoholic beer.
I think it tastes good.
Does it?
I knew somebody that was dumping out their O'Douls and refilling them with real beer.
That's a motherfucking Ocean's 11 son of a bitch right there, dude.
Is he trying to fool himself?
No, he's trying to fool his wife, no doubt, dude.
Definitely trying to fool his wife, I believe.
Yeah. I one time was talking to this construction guy, and he was like telling me that he was hanging out with this pastor, and the pastor was like crouched behind the shed, like drinking Natty Lights in like 2 gulps all the time. And then the reason for telling me this was being like, see, and there's nothing wrong with it. And I was like, wait, what? Just because the pastor's like binge drinking makes it fucking cool and hiding it from his wife is like, oh, see, you don't have to tell your wife the truth. And I was like, dude, all right.
If a pastor don't do it, and he's connected to the
if
same...
the pastor does it, if the pastor's racist, then...
he got a main line to Lord.
Yeah,
so,
man.
yeah, it's fine.
I mean, history shows that people in that position of religious power have wielded
Poorly. Honestly, always. Every time, dude.
What's that? Power? They always fuck it up. Religion? They're not cool when they have power. They kill people.
Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Speaking of power, should we get into some powerful motherfuckers?
Hey, yeah, this is today on the... Welcome to the world of knowledge.
To the land of moral of knowledge.
Is it land of knowledge?
I like land.
Welcome to the land of knowledge.
Heart of the meatpacking district.
In the heart of the meatpacking district, we're here at the Babumasan Lounge in
beautiful, sunny Wilmington, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
To my right is John Ripley.
Hey.
To my left is Dave DeMuro.
Hey.
I'm Jarvis. I'm Travis Edgerton.
Okay. I was like, are you really doing that?
No, man. And so we're going to try and, I don't know, talk about historical shit. And because there's not enough history podcasts. There's not enough people trying to be funny about it. So
we're going to be real serious.
Yeah, dude. Transport yourself mentally to the frozen lands of Scandinavia.
That's one thing we do need, though, is some cool intro music.
A lot of... Oh, dude, he's pouring the Sprite in the body armor. That's like how you make mustard gas. I still have my mixed drinks. So thinking about all this has made me I think about this. I think about England. I think about Ireland and shit. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, I have a palm tree in my front yard. I'm so glad my parents or my ancestors fucking left Europe, even if I have to pay for my health insurance. It's a brutal place. It's brutally cold. The weather's pretty ass. Actually, I don't know, Dave. You were just over there.
It was nice. I was there at the warm season.
The warm season in Greenland?
Greenland. Bjork, home to Bjork. I didn't see her.
Word up.
Or she's Iceland.
Yeah, she's Iceland.
She's Iceland. I'm sorry.
Does anyone live in Greenland? Does anyone live in Greenland?
Bjork is Iceland. That's what they say.
Yeah, she is.
It's like that.
No, that's like I was trying to do Bjork. Yeah.
On a mountain.
So, the focus today, is the Vikings. Oh shit!
1,200 years ago, the Vikings exploded out of the cold North Sea, like beasts, upon an unsuspecting world.
Damn, dude. So I don't know, kind of Viking general overview. I'm thinking about them. Obviously, the feudal system existed before them because in different duchies in France and stuff like that, you've got guys that your peasants. The feudal system is basically that the peasants agree to basically be slaves tied to the land in return for protection from these god-appointed fighting nobles, right? And as nation states, right? But as like nation states emerge, like England becomes all one country. France, that takes a lot longer and stuff like that. But there's less warring in between the different states. There's less like imminent danger until there come these raiders from over the sea, which has always happened. But after, they unify and shit, that's kind of like the big bad that your noble is supposed to protect you from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the first Viking raid that they call is in like 780 something. I mean, I don't know the dates, but it's at Lindisfarne, and they're coming over just to loot. They don't really want to conquer anything, and they're targeting churches.
Yep,
and monasteries.
In monasteries, yes, exactly. I heard because of all the fucking
they're like, here's a golden cross,
exactly.
And everyone here is a pacifist.
Yeah,
that's fucking dumb as shit.
And they had lots of livestock, and there was trade, and they had
You're right, because they had a more advanced system of government.
But they were like, I was listening to something saying you have to get into the mindset of the Scandinavians or whatever, and like where it was a very violent.
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, like violent was part of being.
Hell yeah, and they're fucking all such pussies now. That's the craziest thing. But no, yeah, it's cold. Like, agricultural is viable, but like I don't think they got like giant, concentrated, large farms. I don't think they have the big pastoral like sheep herding thing that they have going on in England and shit. They're hunting, they're fishing, they're trading, and trading kind of leads to raiding, dude. And then eventually back to trading. Yeah.
And I think because they started raiding. Well, they just, because they was like, wow, these people almost, in England, they have all this shit and they're like pushovers. And so it's emboldened like other clans of Vikings, right? Or Norsemen to.
Yeah. So
Norse, where was the expansion then?
Okay, so.
I believe there was 2 classic Viking expansions from my.
Dish, dude.
Well, I think there was one that came from the Scandinavian sort of Norwegian Viking people that was more towards Iceland and Greenland, or the other way around, and then the Danish Vikings were the ones that attacked England.
Yeah, in fact, England for a long time ceded like Northumbria and other parts of England. They just called the Danelaw, which were ruled by Vikings. Until they got them back fucking somehow. But, like Viking, or not Viking. Viking is a verb, actually. Yeah. Going Viking is like a thing. It's describing the act of like going and raiding and pillaging. Nobody would have said like, I'm a Viking. They would have been like, I'm a Dane. I'm a Norse. I'm a Swede.
Do you ever see the movie The Northman?
I haven't seen it, dude.
I saw it with you, right?
Is that Matt Damon?
No, it's Kjörg Smirskjörgengar.
Oh, well, that's right
what's
on.
His name? The guy.
Turd Ferguson.
His dad was Harkonnen in was Baron Harkonnen in the Dune movies.
I don't know about that.
And he's got a brother who is fucking Pennywise. Right. Skarsgård.
So there are two. There are 2 directions that they go. So I guess you got your Norwegians going Iceland, Greenland, going around Ireland. The Viking Scandinavians founded Dublin.
Ah, that makes sense.
Yeah, Ireland kept getting fucked, dude. Island nation, no navy, just getting fucking shafted by everybody. And then you've got but
they weren't. I was going to think they weren't militaristic. They didn't have if they didn't
Yeah.
have they weren't training armies
Right.
of people. It was like very individualistic.
Word
Like
up.
the
Who, the Irish or the Scandinavians?
the Scandinavians, the culture.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like they had no army per se.
No, they had different guys in their own farmsteads and stuff, and then your jarl could like call you up, but also you would like kind of sign up to go on these things as a way to make money for yourself.
Yeah, like being a gang,
Yeah.
country gang.
Yeah, they're fucking thugs. But and then you've got the Swedes, they went more east. And that's who founds the Kievan Rus, the Russian people. Part of the reason Russia's so obsessed with Ukraine is because the Kievan Rus is where their like ethnic history begins.
Yeah.
As these Swedish Vikings go east, subjugate the Slavic people, merge with them, and that's where Russia fucking comes from. And that kind of brings up our boy, a short kind of focus for this thing.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Big Dickamus himself, dude. The last great Viking king, Harald Hardrada. Or as my phone auto-corrected, Harald Hardrada.
Can I do a little video intro?
Yeah,
for this,
dude,
please?
drop his shit.
From the ashes of the infighting, a young warrior had risen. Harald Hardrada, King Olaf's half-brother and heir. In the middle of the 11th century, as Harald grew to manhood, he developed the ambition to lead and unite Norway.
I didn't know that he was. I didn't realize he was Olaf's half brother.
Yeah, so his brother Olaf, or half-brother Olaf, was like the king of Norway, but he lost it.
Okay.
And so Harald Hardrada, Hardrada means hard ruler. That's not really his last name. Yeah. His first military experiences are when he's like 15 years old, which seems really young, but it's not actually that young for the time. Because, I mean, you only live to be like 50, so fucking you get to work pretty soon. He leads his like 600 men to try and help his half-brother Olaf retake Norway. And they're all kind of trying to do this thing this dude Canute did where he ruled Denmark, Norway, and England. And it was called the North Sea Empire. It seems like three miserable fucking places to vacation. Sorry, no offense. But so that becomes kind of a fixation in his mind. He tries to help his brother do it. He gets bitch slapped. He has to like slink away. He's got such a fucking perfect hero arc, dude. He has to slink away, lick his wounds, and
After getting bitch slapped by his brother.
Right. So he goes east to the realm of Yaroslav, who's the king of the Kievan Rus. So he gets there. It's kind of funkier over there. He's like, oh shit.
Where's that modern day now?
Ukraine. It's Kiev.
Ukraine, Kiev. Yeah,
It's Kiev. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he gets there and he sees a little number. He'd like to pull her ticket. But her daddy, Yaroslav, is like, you ain't, all you've done so far is lose. Like, you're cool. I can tell you're going to be a great man. But you've got to, like, make something shake. I'm not going to let you marry my daughter.
I immediately picture him like, Braveheart, Mel Gibson, approaching the cabin or the hut in a horse. On a horse, not in a horse.
In a horse, dude. That's a pretty boring life.
On a horse.
Uh-huh.
In a horse would be wild. What if somebody like made a suit in Middle Ages?
Vamos a
Two
entrar.
brothers, and one was the front, and one was the back of the horse.
Holy
and they just
shit, dude.
hid in the woods,
And
no one knew. But that's how they stayed hidden from the king. They were pretending they were
The
a
legend
horse.
of the unicorn.
I know. I said that would be cool. That'd be a good comedy. We should that. Here we go. The next. That's a movie right there.
All right.
The
right.
brothers. They.
What if they pretend to be a donkey?
All right. They can pretend to be a donkey.
Oh, nice.
Their family was killed by the king and his men. Their
What if they
only
crawled inside a donkey carcass?
The taxidermy boys. What?
They crawled in a donkey carcass, so it was like... one time I was visiting my family in Georgia, and my great uncle Rondell told me he was explaining some
Y'all call him
family
Uncle
story
Ron?
about a guy who probably at the Battle of Chickamauga or something in the Civil War. He thought it might have been the Spanish-American War. I was like, definitely not. Rondell didn't, but no acts of bravery or anything, but at the end of the battle, after the Confederates lost, he climbed inside a donkey carcass and floated down the river to avoid capture or whatever, which is like
It's classic,
pretty, pretty fucking gnarly, dude. But it's not
Empire
like
Strikes Back, right?
Not it's not like we will rise again, dude. But
I was talking about the thing, and then he like puts Luke
oh,
in, keeps
the
him warm.
tauntaun or the
Tauntaun,
banta or whatever.
the bantaton or
The
whatever. I
Fanta.
don't know. I'm not,
Nerds.
All right. Okay, so
Dave, what does the air smell like in that region?
ooh, fuck.
What's the air smell like? It smells like it's crisp.
Crisp.
Like, okay, so like the first thing that surprised me that when we went to Iceland first, and Iceland was lush. We were like in gardens, and I have pictures of like, all these plants and stuff.
Volcanic.
Greenland, not so much though.
No.
Um,
But really, but see, I was on a cruise, so I had like the Reader's Digest version of
was it windy though? I read it was very, that region.
We hit it, yeah. Okay. Well, when we were there, it's kind of like the end of their summer, kind of.
And you were sailing, right?
Yeah. A couple days were real windy, like in Iceland. Like I almost lost my hat, like about 5 times.
Damn.
Cold and windy, and you got to be like so tough.
That's what I'm saying.
Not for me.
Not for me, bud. Not feeling. Don't let the haircut fool you, dude. I'm not doing that shit.
And it was
man.
it was raining, and one of the girls who was leading one of the like walk around the towns was just like, we in Greenland we don't wear rain jackets and stuff or hats when it rains, and like fuck that.
We just let it soak us and dry,
Yeah. Well, can't do that with the humidity, bro.
Everything's wool. Do they wear wool? Do the Vikings wear wool?
They probably stole a lot of wool.
I bet they wore a lot of animal pelts.
I bet they did wear animal pelts. When I think of Dungeons and Dragons versions of Vikings, I think of animal pelts.
Yeah,
Or like
in this
magic
documentary
cards.
I have the recreations. The guys are all running around in animal pelts, so I'm sure that's...
In Age of Empires, the Berserkers have a bear hat on. And by bear hat, I mean a bear's face on the top of their head.
That's cool.
Okay, so...
Anyways,
Yaroslav is like, bro, you need to get down there and do something with it. So he goes to join, using kind of his title, and he's still like somebody. You know what I mean? He's comes from somewhere. Yeah. So he uses his title to go down to what at this time, at least for, the Mediterranean and like Western world, is the motherfucking capital of everything. Constantinople. Big city. Center of the world. They called it Miklegard. He gets down there.
And that
and
is
he
modern day
Istanbul, dude.
right?
At the banks of the Bosphorus, right? At the fucking border between Europe and Asia Minor, dude.
And that's in Turkey.
Yes. So he joins up with an elite guard corps that are called the Varangian Guard. And these are guys, so if you know anything about the Byzantine Empire, we use the word Byzantine to describe like shady, complicated politics for a reason, because they're constantly fucking backstabbing, squabbles over power. The Byzantine Empire is the eastern half of the Roman Empire that doesn't fall, goes on for 1,000 more years, but instead of speaking Latin, they speak Greek. And so it's like different. They're Orthodox instead of Catholic. So they last a long time, like up into the 1400s and shit, which is way after fucking Rome falls. Yeah. So they're have this elite guard corps that is supposed to be loyal not to the Byzantine state and supposed to not have any like local affiliation at all. So it's all Anglo-Saxons, Norwegians, Swedes, and shit that work just for the Byzantine emperor. And they're called the Varangian Guard. So they got the best armor. They're all decked the fuck out. They got big fucking axes. They're way taller than everybody around them. And when they're not fighting, they are like known to be the rowdy boys around Constantinople just drinking. They get very rich. Every time a new emperor comes into power, he gives them all a shitload of money so that they'll be with him.
Yeah,
you know? And so,
yeah.
like, I imagine when he gets there,
Their allegiance was to whoever could keep giving them money.
Right, exactly. And, like, just like the Praetorian Guard in Rome, even though they're supposed to be, like, strictly for the emperor, like, they'll help somebody else come up if they have to. He does this later. But, so I just, like, imagine he's coming down out of, like, because even Kiev's probably not fucking sunny. I mean, we know it's not right now.
No.
But, anyway, I imagine, you know, the scene in Tokyo Drift when, like, the guy's like, what do you mean drift? And he's, like, been in Texas, like, where everyone's mean to him. And he's, like, having a hard time. And he kind of gets dragged into this totally different culture. And he's going up in the elevator. And Lil Bow Wow's like, come on, homie, I'll show you. And then fucking he gets there. And the doors open. And it's like, bing, 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 ding, 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 cha, cha, ding, ding. That's what I imagine. He hits. I imagine he gets there, and that's like the vibe. It's like, dude, welcome to the fucking big time. We got money. We got bitches. All you got to do is what you love to do is cut shit
like
down.
Harry and Lloyd walking, handing out the $100 bills when they get out of the Lamborghini.
For sure. For sure. I haven't seen that movie. But
It's Dumb and Dumber.
I know. I feel bad. So anyway, but he doesn't do a whole lot of guarding the emperor.
No.
They send him and his guys on a grand ass-reaming world tour of the Mediterranean. He takes over dozens of fortresses and towns. Ooh. From fucking the Holy Land to Sicily into Arabia. He's just beating the shit out of people everywhere, getting rich as
What would they
fuck.
do to people when they got to a town? Like, we're going to raid, you know.
So they're like the
town called Wilmington.
Yeah, Wilmingtonian.
Yeah.
That's the newspaper. I don't know, man. I mean, I know that in like pitched battles, if there is like the emperor who's probably not there, they would be standing around him, making sure nobody gets to him. But they're also like the bruisers. They're going to take on the best troops of whoever, cut them down, and then they're going to find all the peasants there with pitchforks, and they're just going to fucking ream. You know, these like poor guys that are like impressed into service, like the, you know,
of course,
Persian emperor
like
or whatever.
always.
It's like, you gotta fucking go out here and do this shit. And they're just like, dude, we want to be here. Like, we love this shit. I just spent fucking your whole life savings on this new axe. Mm-hmm. My bro fucking carved his shit on it. It's sick.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to destroy you, and you're just...
So they just destroy. He goes up into Bulgaria. They are having like a pretty big revolution or rebellion at the time. Sorry, brah, nah. Just fucking cuts everybody open, fucking gets his dick wet in their blood. Crazy shit. He's a badass. I think he winds up fucking like one of the princesses of the Byzantine Empire, Zoe. Yeah. Didn't know that was an ancient name. Definitely thought Zoe was like... Travis, like from the 80s or whatever. I think she wound up hating him, but that's the way that stuff goes anyway.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
I want to say this was about the Vikings, and I'm not sure if it was about Harald, who I almost called Hadrian, but Harald. He wouldn't they like. They would tell the men if they conquer the survivors, they'd be like, you can join us and keep killing, or you can die. And I don't know if that's true.
That's very pirate style. Yeah. I don't know if they would, though, man, because, like I know that if you wanted to go Viking, they'd be like, all right, but you got to bring a sword. You need to bring armor. You have to, like, be a badass. You know what I'm saying? Because it's an individual pursuit. You're joining... voluntarily a group of these other guys that also have their shit, and it's like, we're gonna pool together,
earning our way into Valhalla.
Yeah, right. And he definitely does make it to Valhalla, dude.
So he goes around.
I don't think they would have taken
killing
like
everybody.
Yeah, right. So he's fucking everybody, dude.
Becoming more and more powerful.
He's so wealthy, dude. In fact, he like racks up at the very end. There's a plot to replace the current Byzantine emperor with another guy. The current, or I can't remember which one. One of them's name is Michael, and he's like fucking stupid. And
Michael.
yeah,
Michael the stupid.
Michael the dumb. But anyway, so he does, betray the current emperor and help this rebellious guy, and
he betrays Michael the stupid.
Yeah, dude, and is rewarded with buku money. And then he's like, you know what though, dude? I've never been able to get over this whole idea. I'm going back to Norway to reclaim the kingship of Norway for my motherfucking family. And I think he gets there. I think when he gets there, he's the richest person in Northern Europe. Like, he has more money than fucking everybody. And
they had to know he was coming back, did they?
Oh,
like,
they definitely.
Like, oh,
no, yeah.
shit.
They're like, what are you going to do, though, dude?
Harold's down there. He's so rich. He's
Yeah,
partying with the
he's
Byzantine
just goddamn
king.
cutting down Arabs, cutting down fucking
You hear he
Bulgars, dude.
And
He's
in
just,
that day and
He
age,
just
it's-
took out Michael the stupid.
Michael the stupid.
Oh my god!
so he gets back, and he agrees with whoever's like the king right now. He's like, dude, we can fight, or I can just give you a bunch of money and we'll share it. And the guy's like, sure, let's do that. And then that guy is like dies pretty quickly somehow.
The king of Norway. Oh yeah.
Who I
I
think,
saw
which
that.
is so sad. I think his name was like, Freddie the Good. And then, and then this guy shows up. He's like, cool. They call me Harald the Hard Ruler, and I'm about to
Well, I'm
fucking
Freddie the
take
Good.
because I
Hey,
don't know. He's probably
Just
like
share.
doing like a great
Share Norway. You don't kill me, okay?
yeah.
You poisoned him.
Yeah, it's like everybody's having a great
What
time.
did Harold do to him?
Definitely, dude. Definitely had this guy killed. Like, there's no fucking way. And then after that, he goes on to make sure everybody who could possibly have any sort of claim or competition to him is killed.
So he
This is where he earns the name Harald Hardrada, which is the Hard Ruler.
he's just
fucking-
going around Norway.
He's like, I am going to be the only show in this motherfucker.
Could you
town.
imagine how much time it took? Like, I mean, like now you can with your phones, you could check in on your people
Yeah.
from across the country. But how
Like, how do you know there's
he
a new
had to
king?
go around and let everybody. Hey, I'm the king now.
Yeah.
Boom.
yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah.
part of reason
Took
why,
on tour.
like, people took their court with them and traveled. They had to show people who is the fucking king, and yeah, dude. And also, like, we can elect a new president every 4 years. It's like, dude, it's gonna take 4 years for me to get home. Yeah. Yeah. So he's, I'm the only fucking show in town.
So he
Big Dickamus
spends a few
Harold.
years doing this.
I'm sure.
10 years going around just kicking everybody's
sure.
ass all through Norway. Like,
Well, yeah.
okay. And they're like, you got it,
You
Harold.
got it.
You're the boss.
And he does some good things. He introduces the first coin-based economy in Norway. He learned some shit while he was out there.
Oh, yeah.
And that
yes.
winds up being really important down the road because as he's the last real Viking king, we'll get to how this kind of all plays out. But as he becomes the last great Viking king, they
This was like
transition more.
1050, 1060.
Yeah, so it ends in 1066.
Yeah.
But he introduces this coin-based economy, which is far simpler to trade with currency than having to bring bulk goods all the
Yeah.
fucking time. And the Scandinavians, because they've been raiding all over Northern Europe, but they've been everywhere. They have these like great networks of movement already set up. So once he
Yeah.
introduces this coin-based economic system, they wind up being able to make money because they don't have a whole lot to trade. They have furs. They have like shit like that. They have rare things you can't get other places.
Yeah, they
But
found shit from
they be-
like India and
Right,
China, way
right.
in Norway, like way
Right.
in Oslo
Well,
from like these
exactly,
times.
exactly. And I think a lot of that is probably due to now I can just bring my money down, buy shit, sell it back here for fucking buku more shit and stuff. So that's part of the reason the whole Viking era comes to an end is because
Yeah.
it becomes so much easier for them to just use the networks they have set up to peacefully trade instead of like have to bring 600 guys with you when half of you are going to die and be gone for a decade. You know what I'm saying? Trying to
nah,
conquer
come
shit.
to
And they were never really
Oslo.
in a conquest anyway. You know, they weren't trying to like set up, except for in England. They did set the fuck up in England for a long time and stayed there. But like they weren't, you know, the Varangian Guard's not trying to take over part of the Middle East for themselves. Like the Vikings aren't really into that.
They were raiding.
Except
They
for
take it and leave.
Except for also the Normans in France, but I'll bring them in here in a second. Anyway, so Harold's like, all right, dude, I've got Norway on liggity lock. Everybody's giving me their bread. It's time for me to try and recreate Canute's great northern empire. So he's like, next stop, Denmark, homie.
Damn. So
He does
was the
that for 10 years?
Olaf's fallen half brother. He got bitch slapped out of Norway.
Yes, comes
He
back.
Went all the way through pillaging, making friends with the Byzantines and shit, going out, doing shit.
Yes.
Fucking kicking ass.
Yeah.
And then they're like, stay with us. And he's like, no, I must go back to Norway and be the king. Goes back to Norway.
He leaves a wounded 15-year-old teenager who's lost this battle and comes back the richest motherfucker with the most badass gear and dudes with him, becomes the king for his family, and is like, but guess what, dude? I'm taking this
is
whole
not
operation.
enough.
This whole operation, yes, dude. Capitalism for sure is what this guy subscribes to. He is always trying to get some more. He does not succeed in Denmark, though. He can't take it over. He
Oh,
fights
I
them
heard
for like
that.
10
Yeah,
fucking years.
yeah.
He can't do it, and he's like, well, fuck it, man. I'll go beat up those pussy-ass English people over there.
So he was trying to fight other Vikings for a while?
Oh, yeah, dude. I mean, they don't care, you know?
Yeah.
They don't care. And they we look at them as a group. They wouldn't fucking think that way.
No, it was very clan-oriented.
So he
Yeah.
goes to England, and he fights one battle there first against, I think, the Earl of Northumbria, Morcar, and some other guy, Tostig. Now, he beats them, but then he has to face the King of England, who is a guy who's been waiting in southern England forever for William the Conqueror to invade. Because that guy is from Normandy, and he's been making a claim, so he has to rush up into northern England and fight the Vikings. Harold, and his name is Harold too.
Yeah.
And Harold Godwinson he's half Scandinavian. That's why his name is Harold. The Danes and Scandinavians were a huge part of English history for a long fucking time. His son's name is like Tostig or whatever. That's not an English name, you know? So he's basically like a half Viking motherfucker anyway.
So Harold versus Harold now.
Harold versus Harold. And this is where the Viking era kind of ends, dude.
Cool sitcom name.
Harold versus Harold.
And so he's...
This is the Battle of Stamford Bridge.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is the badass, dude. So he gets there, he beats one, guy, and then he's like, fuck yeah, dude, here we go. I'm about to get these motherfuckers, dude.
Yeah.
But then it's
He thinks he has
the
the
army
lead.
of all unified England, which has a much larger population.
And by this point, he'd been...
And
he did that hiccup with the Danes, but he'd been kicking so much
He's been
ass
kicking
for
so much ass
long.
for so fucking long, dude. And they usually, except for like Alfred the Great and shit, they kind of always succeed in England.
Yeah.
They can kind of get what they want out of these guys. But not the
lazy.
case. Not the case. So the pitched battle begins, and the English are pursuing the Vikings across a bridge. And I don't know if you heard this part, but there's this one Norwegian guy standing on the bridge with an axe.
Yes, I
And
heard
he's
about
holding
this guy.
back
He's
the
kicking ass.
entire English army
Yeah.
by himself, just cutting fucking dicks off left and fucking right, slaying dudes.
Like this massive freaking guy.
Yeah,
I bet he was
dude.
like I like to think he's
That's
like
so
the
fucking
mountain
sick.
from Game of Thrones.
That's so
like,
fucking sick.
Dude.
He's White Shaq.
Here's a quick. Sorry, I know this is the real big climax, but when I was in 6th grade, this kid in my class, Andreas, was from Norway. He was like 6'4" in 6th grade. He was
Jesus
huge.
Christ.
He was bigger than our teacher. Anyways,
Word up. So it was Andreas was there, dude.
yeah. Anyways,
In
Andreas,
his fucking,
huge dong too.
Really?
It was when you're in 6th grade and you have swimming class, and then there's a guy in your class.
You had a
everybody's
pool
like,
at your
Jesus,
school
Andreas.
in 6th grade? You had a pool in
It
middle
was in
school?
Indonesia.
It's an island nation.
Yeah, it was hot all the time.
They all are, depends on how big the island is. Anyway.
Anyways, this is a sidetrack, but yeah.
So
Sidetrack.
So that shit's like working. But eventually one Englishman's like, dude, enough of this malarkey. He crawls up under the bridge, takes his spear, stabs up into the gooch of the fucking guy on the bridge and kills him. Can you imagine, dude? I mean, even if it was through the bottom of your foot or your calf or any part of your body getting stabbed from underneath, dude, when you're not expecting it while you're fighting, has got to be a gnarly fucking way.
Like you accidentally have like sat on something or done anything where
lollipopped
you
out.
got that.
If you've ever tried to kickflip a skateboard and land on it, you know what I'm talking about, where it's vertical in between your legs. It's a spear, dude.
That's spear. That's what its name is.
Yowie, dude. So then the English can swarm across the bridge and better confront the Vikings. They defeat
Harold's
them.
there too.
Harold died.
Harold's right there fighting.
Oh, always. He's always fighting, dude. He
love that
doesn't fuck around. So is Harold Godwinson, too, though.
Everybody knows, chill. I'm going to take England.
Yeah. And if you fuck around, when
I
I
would
get
have loved
back...
to have been like one of his top guys that didn't travel and been like,
I would
Harold.
have wanted to go to... I was thinking about this, as I often am, while I'm supposed to be
I'll stay
building...
here with to protect the women and
No,
children.
I'm staying down, and I'm not going back to Norway. I'm retiring in Constantinople.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, well, you're leaving, and I'm not going to fight with the next guy, but I'm rich. I'm just going to get like an apartment. Because they had apartments. They had water, running water.
Get an
They
apartment.
did. It's Constantinople.
We wouldn't be talking about
that's
Harold right now if it was like, Harold, the guy who got an apartment in Constantinople.
Well, it's so crazy. I think about these ancient cities and shit, too, though. Like Rome, had a population of 1 million people that are living in apartment buildings and shit in ancient times. That's still so much bigger than the city we live in right now.
I know.
That's fucking wild, dude. They're living Seinfeld back in the day. That's fucking crazy.
Well, I mean, I don't want to shit on our town, but like, we went to New York City not too long ago, and you're walking around in Manhattan, and you just, the people and the vibe, you're like,
it's electric.
This is a different world.
It's electric. Dude, I could talk about New York all the time. I think it's fucking awesome. Woogie. Electric Avenue, dude.
So fucking Harold.
Harold
the Haggard. What was he called again?
Harald Hardrada.
Harold Hardrada
is cut down at the Battle of Stamford Bridge. He dies.
He died in England.
He died in England. He definitely goes to Valhalla. He's done some pretty badass shit, though. He never stopped trying to get more shit.
Did anybody make it back where they're like, we're out of here, fuck, back to
No,
Oslo?
dude, it's really fucking bad, actually. They say if there are 9,000 Norwegian soldiers, 8,000 are killed. So it's fucking bad, dude. The English get them, and then they get them. They kill them all. And they make the remaining survivors swear to never try to invade England again. But it's a short fucking victory lap for Harold Godwinson because literally immediately after this, William, Duke of Normandy, William the Bastard, invades, lands in the south at the Battle of Hastings 1066. The English are winning that one again as well until Harold Godwinson takes an arrow through his fucking eye.
Oof.
Dies. The tempo of the battle changes. The Normans conquer England, and they go on to do a genocidal thing throughout fucking England. Really? Oh my God, yes, dude. To this day, the north of England is poorer than the south of England because if they tried to rebel, they tried to like hold out a little longer. The town of York, fucking Harald Hardrada, it's not a town, it's a city. He sacked York, fucking, and then immediately William the Conqueror comes back up there. Does like Nazi style obliteration of York.
Yeah, and that was
it's called the harrying of the North.
Harold, Harold.
Our Harold?
Not our Harold.
Godwinson.
Harold Godwinson was the last Anglo-Saxon king.
He was the last Anglo-Saxon king because the Normans, and here's the thing about the Normans though, we're not done with the Vikings. Normandy, northern France, the Normans are the not predecessors, the fucking offspring. I mean, they're not all his kids. There was a Viking named Rollo. They were constantly invading northern France, but they wanted to stay. Yes. Rollo the Candy.
Okay.
They wanted to stay. They kept fucking everybody over there, but they didn't want to leave. They kept demanding more money and we'll leave. More money and we'll leave. And finally, they're like, dude, we're not fucking leaving. And so to just appease this whole fucking situation, the King of England, who at the time controls Paris and a little shit outside of it.
Yeah.
But every duchy in France is its own thing.
Yeah. It's not all
He just
unified
creates this new tract and calls it Normandy for the Northmen, for the Norsemen. So the Normans are also the descendants of Vikings.
So
they are the ones who eventually, down the road, then conquer England. Mm-hmm. So, and if it hadn't have been from them going to France first, England and Britain would be far more of like a Northern European, Scandinavian style country, I think. Because although they're like Gaelic in Scotland and Ireland and shit, until the French conquer it, and then there's this constant thing where it's like, I'm the king in England, but I'm also the duke of this huge swath of France. That's what really ties England to the continent.
Yeah.
Historically. And then there's the 100 Years' War, which is like 117 years of them fighting over that shit. That makes England more of like, I mean, now they decided they're nobody's friend, but
yeah, but
that's like what kind of keeps them out from being more like a Denmark, Norway, Scandinavia realm thing, and more of like a part of like Western Europe.
Yeah.
So
never knew that or thought.
And then the
about
Normans,
that.
they go on tour too, man. They conquer Sicily, they conquer southern France. It's the Norman knights that are the best ones in the fucking Crusades. There is a Norwegian crusade.
Because what happened
where
in
they
Oslo?
conquer Portugal on the way. What happened in what?
Okay, so after Harold's done,
Yeah.
and everybody goes, few guys left. They make it back. They swear, hey, we fucked up here, guys. We won't come back.
Yeah.
And they go back to Oslo. Is there a new king now?
I don't know, man. I mean, I would imagine, yeah.
That's something to, we can do some research on.
So I imagine, there's a new king in Norway, but I think he's probably like, there's no way I'm going to be big as dickamus as that guy.
No.
So let's focus on other aspects of government. Dude.
Yeah,
Because what the fuck?
Let's focus on what we got
This
going
guy's
here.
out here fucking Byzantine princesses. He's goddamn... I mean, he was in Palestine. He was in Sicily. He also conquered towns in Sicily. He's in Arabia. He's in Bulgaria. He was fucking everywhere. He lived the fucking rock and roll hero journey arc of everything. And then he's the last of his fucking kind. He's fucking
It's fucking
cool,
epic,
man.
dude.
It's very fucking epic. It's real, too,
Well, that's great, man. Thanks for telling him that story about
Harald Hardrada. Probably not a fun dude to be around. No. Unless you're, like, also a murderous fucking giant bodybuilder. But, like...
Yeah, it's
But,
him and it's be like hanging out in a locker room with NFL football players. He would like, these are not my kind of people.
Right. I probably can't hang.
People like real alpha, strong.
Yeah.
It's like,
let's tear him apart for our
no,
amusement.
I just want please relax.
Yeah, they are the original bros. They're thugs on parade. They just go and fucking. They're like, who the hell needs book learning? Charlemagne never learned how to read. Most of these guys never gave a shit about that.
Christianity started going through, right?
Yeah, Christianity has a big deal. That also changes the Viking Age significantly because you're not supposed to like be mean to other Christians.
And
And
that's why we don't have any problems in this country
yeah,
anymore.
dude. There's never been a Catholic or a Protestant that raised their hand against each other. Christians are always nice to everybody. I'm a Christian, but
You are always nice.
yeah, dude. I've never done anything wrong ever.
What was the name of our podcast? The world.
Welcome to the land of knowledge.
Welcome to the land of knowledge.
Knowledge.
I like that.
Yeah.
Vikings. Next time we're going to talk to you guys about eunuchs.
Yeah, dude.